As we know, all of us, the local real estate market, we've had a pretty good run, and especially commercial real estate, which is still strong. It's amazing that dynamics, the office vacancy is 4 or 5%, and it's been that way for a bit, and that's unusual. I don't think we've seen that be sustained for over a sustained period. The industrial vacancy rate's also very low, 1 or 2%. The residential apartment vacancy rate's very low, but the residential condo or housing market appears to be slowing, and we read the headlines every day. Has there been too much government intervention at all levels? So Rob, this is perfect for you. With tighter mortgage regulations, school tax, foreign purchaser tax, rising interest rates, speculation tax, rent control, do we need more government intervention or less? No swearing.
Well, there has been all these taxes, right? We know that there's a foreign buyers tax and an empty homes tax, and that was to suppress demand. And then there's other taxes that our new socialist government has brought in, and those are essentially wealth taxes. There's the phony school tax, the speculation tax. These are just to expropriate your wealth, but that's what the socialists are all about. When you're trying to develop property, there's a community amenity contribution tax. That's completely illegal, what the city of Vancouver does. And there's a mountain of other hidden taxes and development fees of all types. So in any event, have these taxes depressed the market? Well, absolutely they have. And to suggest they haven't would be ridiculous. And it's not like there's not a lot of people still moving into the province. There is. You know, there's 350,000 new immigrants to Canada a year. We have 40,000 people a year still moving into the Lower Mainland, and they've got to live somewhere. So the market actually should still be strong. And in fact, and at the lower end of the market, you know, it still is. But the higher end of the market, the medium to high end of the market, of course, it's been hammered by this new series of taxes, and the government, I think, has gone overboard. When the market was particularly hot, and there was an immense amount of demand, you know, arguably you could make the case that there was not enough government intervention to increase supply. We could have increased supply massively in the Lower Mainland had the local governments just worked a little harder to do so. So instead of bringing in all these measures, tax measures, to suppress demand, we could have increased supply, and that's where I think the government has really fallen down by not working harder to do so.
So Colin, on the same topic, how is your firm navigating through all these uncertainties and those taxes and the delays? It seems to be twice as long to get permit approvals from various municipalities, which is adding further cost to your projects.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the business, I joined the business in 1993, so it's going on 25 years, I guess, a little bit more. And in my career, I've never seen it so challenging to get projects approved, and the level of sophistication that it takes to design and develop a project is something that we've never seen before. I mean, with respect to government intervention, I think because of the housing affordability issues that you're seeing around the globe, I think government intervention in my lifetime only gets worse. I see that. And, you know, we've had a tremendous run in residential real estate. Starting in 2001, we were down a little bit in 2008, but nothing goes up forever. And, you know, in and of themselves, some of the taxes or some of the, you know, like even the stress testing that the federal government is doing to have a nation of healthy mortgage borrowers, not necessarily a bad thing. But when you layer them all on, there's no question that it's slowing the real estate market. And some of those like the stress testing is having an unintended consequence of driving affordability actually up, because it's driving buyers down to more affordable homes, and that's why we're seeing the bottom end actually increase a little bit. And so where I think there's too much government intervention is with respect to right now, when we build a condominium, 26% of the cost of the condo goes to government taxes and fees. And it's very difficult to find the solutions to housing affordability when you're paying that much in terms of taxes and fees. And I think that's where we're seeing too much government intervention.
You know, my comment there would be, I agree, I agree. I don't think there's at any level of government, whether municipal, provincial, or federal, that we haven't heard for at least a decade, if not longer, that the priority for that party or the priority for that political leader is affordable housing and what's actually happened in the last decade or over a decade. So everyone talks a good game, and Canada and British Columbia and the city of Vancouver, they've all let us down. And I think instead of taxing, if we created a system of incentive and let private capital be part of the solution, I think thousands and thousands and thousands of units would have already been built. And so it's a mindset that we have. Right now we've got government with more bureaucracy, more time delays, more red tape, more regulations, but no one's given the marketplace incentive to go ahead and do it. And I think I've given up waiting for the government to make an impact into the affordable housing issue, because all we've done is hear about it for such a long time. And I think we have to be part of the solution as long as there's a platform with incentive, and we can deal with it.
Can I just jump in there? You're 100% right, and you know I'm convinced that there's not enough incentive for politicians to take risks, or even staff, you know, people that work for the city to take risks to try new things, because the risk of failure doesn't outweigh any incentives they get. And you know, the idea of giving incentives to developers to build affordable housing makes so much sense, but I can give you multiple examples of projects. We have a project in the city of Vancouver. We're mandated to build 25% affordable housing, and the city is cutting us back 20 stories because we shadow a portion of Robson 15 hours out of the year. And if they gave us those 20 stories, that would have meant about another 100 units of affordable housing. So the question is, do you want 15 more hours of sunlight on Robson Street out of the year, or do you want to build 100 affordable housing units? And they can't get their priorities straight. And those are the challenges we face.